as I always do, once again, bring clarity to the madness on this platform into this community by being sometimes that I feel the only level-headed individual in 2025. I understand a lot of these other content creators have some growing up to do. I've been doing this shit for 6.5 years. But why don't we go ahead and save this community once again? Let's talk about Brant. We have some content creators going after each other in the form of Tectone, Skull, CJ, and Ethan, amongst many others. But I want to make one thing perfectly clear. We don't know the extent of Brant's kit until we get them on live. We need to stop freaking out so much before they're even released. Secondly, the existence of elitist cucks who believe that you cannot play a character until it is at its entirely max potential is wrong. The only thing that matters is if they are viable in their role and if they can do it well. Now, Brant is often deemed to not being able to be used until you have 280% ER. No, 280 is the max, not the requirement. 250 is the requirement. And yes, 30% is far different. Now, there's a lot more that I can go into Brant's kit here, but why don't we go ahead and quell the madness on the Skull, CJ, Ethan, and Tectone drama? We will weigh in. I will be as respectful as possible, and we will put this shit behind us. And yes, I will be pulling for one copy of Brant. Now, let's begin.
As potential in a way to brick your account, if that makes sense.
Guys.
Okay. Tectone, as your friend, I am merely asking, just stop making your titles so goddamn bad. No, pulling Rocha will not brick your account like you claimed previously. Pulling new characters will not brick your account previously. And Brant is being released at a healthy game state in Wuthering Waves, and that is what we want. We can't have this whole mentality to where if they're not the new most broken unit, they brick your account, because that is going to lead to power creep long term. We should be okay with units being released of similar or comparable power levels that are not consistently breaking the meta, because Wuthering Waves will continue to have a diverse pool of characters in their roster at top tier. There is a reason why there's not one character in T0, but there's actually just fucking 4. Wuthering Waves' game state is very, very, very good right now because every character is still viable to clear all the content, which I greatly appreciate. So let's begin here.
As we got to talk about it, Brant's kit is not a disaster. So in today's video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know. So for those of you that don't know, ever since the 2.1 update, you've been able to go into your menu.
Also, I would like to say, this is Skull CJ. This is a guy who I had an argument with a couple months ago. Who cares? We let bygones be bygones. We made up. It was good. I think he's a great guy. This guy's account got hacked and terminated, and now he has to make a new account. So if anybody would like to go give him a subscribe and help him rebuild his channel, it's the least I can do to try to help this guy out. I think Skull CJ is a fine gentleman. Yeah, let's help him out. Give him a couple subs, give him a couple likes. It would be great.
Head on over to the gallery, and if you go over to Crossing Stars, you can check out Brant and check out his entire kit and what it brings to the table. Now, a lot of people have been messaging me, asking me to react to
Nah, he's made a lot of L takes. I don't care. And yeah, I truly don't care. Whether someone has an L take or not, who cares? It just really depends on how damaging it is to the space. And so far, I've not seen Skull CJ do that personally. Let's keep going here.
This video that talks about how Brant could possibly break your account because he's insanely hard to build, if not the hardest unit to build in the game. And so
now, I will admit, that is absolutely true. This character is going to be very difficult to build, absolutely. If you want to use him in every role. However, just getting 250% ER so you can use him as a support is going to be very, very, very easy to do.
Sorry for the late upload here. I was getting my ass handed to me while beating the newest hologram. And listen, don't mind the other holograms. I just got back to playing after like 2-3 months, and my community kept pushing me to try this hologram because apparently it's insanely difficult.
No, it won't. All right, so Wintermelon, let me make this perfectly clear. You think it won't be easy to get Brant to 250. You think it'll be hard. Remind me of this chatter's name in 1 second. I'm going to pull out some examples on why it's going to be a fucking joke later.
Anyway, in today's video, I'm going to give you my take on Brant and give you my personal opinion as to what I believe this unit brings to the table, and if he's truly that hard to build where he can break your account. So let's hop.
Once again, Brant is going to be difficult to build if you want him to be viable in every roles. However, if you just want to focus on support, he'll be very easy to build.
Right in. So to break down,
so it's like a low skill floor for actually building him good enough. but then it's going to be very difficult to build him perfectly. But obviously, every character to build perfectly will be difficult to do, as it is for every other character.
Now what the deal is with Brant and why he's apparently so hard to build, I'm gonna let the Giga Chat version of Bobby Lee explain it to you.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of like the bread and butter of his kit. Brant gains additional attack based on his energy regeneration. For every 1% of his ER over 150%, he gains 12 points of attack, up to 1560. So, let's just do some math, guys. So, the 1560 that we're seeing over here, right, divided by 12, or the 12 points of attack, means that he's going to need 130% ER over 150. And so that basically means 280%. He's going to need 280% ER to actually gain the full attack bonus that we're going to be seeing on this screen.
Which really isn't required. Let's say you lose 12 attack, maybe even 36 attack. Does it really make that big of a difference? No, not really. 275, 276 is still well enough. I mean, to be honest, I'm a firm advocate where you only really need 250. What up, boys? Today we are sponsored by the Enigma of Sepia, a game that is basically every anime lover's dream. Seriously, if you've ever wondered, what if my favorite anime heroes were waifus? Well, guess what? Your wish is about to get a lot weirder. In this RPG set in the mysterious Void City, danger lurks around every corner, secrets are everywhere, and every single decision you make shapes your destiny. So no pressure. It's a world where your choices matter. Choose a team of dream girls. These aren't just your average waifus. Nah, these girls come from different universes. Some you might be familiar with. Each girl has their own insane powers and unique personalities. Collect them, bond with them, and then battle with them in this crazy RPG adventure. Think of it as a dream team, but like a really attractive one. So don't worry about your heroes being weak. This isn't some game where you're stuck with useless low-tier characters. In Enigma of Sepia, even the low-tier heroes can level up to SSR status. That's right, SSR. So whether you want a tanky build or an infinite bleed build, you've got plenty of options. So what do you get? A game that lets you collect waifus, battle in stunning 3D graphics, and level up your heroes with no weakling nonsense. Seriously, it's the perfect mix of strategy, visuals, and, well, a lot of hot waifus. So what are you waiting for? Enigma of Sepia is out now. Click the link in the description and build your dream team today.
So with that, he's going to be hard to build.
Alright, so as he said, the thing is, to maximize Brant's kit, to get the full potential from his kit, you're going to need a total of 280 ER, which might seem like quite a lot. And don't get me wrong, in all reality, it is quite a lot. This, on top of the fact that you obviously want to get crit rate and crit damage as high as you can, means you will generally have to have 3 precise substats in most pieces to get the best out of Brant. But we will talk about this topic a little bit later. First off, I want to take a look at the minimum ER we would have on Brant without any energy regen substats. A character's base energy regen is 100. Then if we add Brant's weapon into the mix, and guys, if you don't want any spoilers for Brant's weapon, skip a few.
I believe Brant's weapon is going to give him 77, but there are some nice 4-star options as well.
Few seconds ahead, but his weapon gives him 77 energy regen. Then we take into account.
Yeah, so 77% ER. However, I believe there's a 4-star weapon that gives you 52%.
The 2-3 cost energy regen echoes for a total of 64 energy regen. His echo set gives 10% ER for the 2-piece bonus. This alone gives you a total of 251 energy regen.
Yep, that's Overture. Yeah, absolutely. So already, with no substats required whatsoever, we're already at 251. And the other thing is, people are saying, well, then you're going to need energy regen on every single piece. No, you're not. If you get 3 mid-rolls on 3 pieces, then you're done. That's it. Because, like, what? Energy regen can be, like, what? 6.4 to 12.8? So if you get a couple 9s or a 10, you're already sitting at 277, 280. Who cares?
And keep in mind, we haven't gotten to the substats yet. Meaning, to reach our maximum goal of 280 ER, we still need a whopping 29% energy regen, which is actually quite a bit.
No, it's not.
Do keep in mind,
that's 3 mid-rolls on 3 stats and you're good to go. It's so fucking easy to get. And let's say you're at 277, 278. Oh, you're missing out on 24 attack. Who fucking cares? And the same thing is, well, let's say you use a 4-star option, but take it, it's going to be hard if you have a 4-star option. Yeah, it is going to be hard if you have a 4-star. That's how every game operates in history. right? In what game can you pull a unit as a free-to-play and then have an entirely perfect build? Pretty much none. Like, every character will be leagues beyond if you spend more money. Obviously. Right? Besides Limbus Company. But you tell me a Genshin Impact or Honkai Star Rail character or Zenless Zone Zero or Wuthering Waves where a character is going to be just as easy to build without their signature weapon. There might be 3, 4 units between all 4 games, but yeah, that's kind of how the games work. You know what I mean? If you pull their special weapon, it makes them feel more special.
This is to get the max potential from Brant's kit. Now, here's the possible percentage for Echo substats. I want to put this on screen so you guys have a general idea of the percentages you can roll. So considering that 6.8 is the lowest amount you can roll for ER, you would need to roll that on all 5 pieces in order to fulfill the 280% energy regen. But let's say you manage to get a couple of pieces with, I don't know, 9% energy regen and another piece with the lowest, which is 6.8.
Sure.
That's already over 275 energy regen. Almost the max energy regen you need to maximize his buff, and you still have 2 pieces you can work around that don't necessarily need ER, and you can focus on getting the best offensive stats possible.
The only people who think that if you have 275 instead of 280 are elitists who worry way too much what Reddit and Discord thinks on their perfect build for Brant. Everybody knows this. I mean, I do this in every single game. I go into Honkai Star Rail, I go to Genshin, I go to Wuthering Waves, I go to Zenless Zone Zero. I get told every time, Techie, your builds suck. Your characters aren't built right. And then I still beat all of the content. Easily, by the way. Easily. You don't need a character to be perfect at its max potential in order to beat all content. You just simply don't. Just play decently. Even as long as you're playing only a little bit below average, you'll be fine. These games aren't hard. And people who say if these characters aren't fully maxed, you can't beat shit, well, they're just Doom posters, man. There's no reason for that.
Well, now
As someone who's in the woo-wah category all day, I say with 100% accuracy, the entire Brant talk is so ass and lame. Just pull for fun games, easy as fuck. That's what I'm saying, man. This game's a joke. Just play for fun, man.
The reason I'm bringing this thing up is because it feels like it's really hard to get that 280 ER. And while, yes, if you want to get this as easily as possible, you most likely will have to have ER on most of your pieces. You don't necessarily have to have ER on most of your pieces. You can go ahead and get it on like 3, maybe even 2, and you'll still be at around 270 ER, which is pretty damn good. Now let's go back to the Echo stats we were talking about earlier. Correct me if I'm wrong, but don't we usually try to roll for 3 or more desired substats when we build our characters? For example, on Gion, we would want the usual crit rate and crit damage alongside heavy attack. For Jinshi, we would want the usual crit rolls as well as skill damage. And on top of this, we want other offensive stats, because ain't nobody got time for flat D.
The reason why people are worried more about energy recharge, crit rate, and crit damage is because you can see all of those stats in your screenshot. Whereas the reason why people don't care about skill damage and resonance liberation damage is because people can't see that in the screenshot. So you can trick people into thinking you have a good character with a screenshot of just your crit rate and crit damage when you have none of the bonuses. Right, so it's damage for screenshot players that worry about this shit, not any actual players.
Defense and flat HP, so forth and so on. So what exactly is the difference when wanting to build our usual crit rolls on top of an energy regen substat, especially when we can achieve such high numbers like 251 with minimal efforts? And while sure, the dream would be to have 280 ER right away, you don't necessarily need 280 ER for this unit to be amazing.
You need 250 to get full effect, or actually the minimum effect of the new Echo set put out just for him. 250 is required, guys. I want to make that very clear. If you can't get 250, do not pull him. Okay? Do not. Because that will actually make a huge fucking difference.
I'm sure that 260 or 270 ER is quite good.
Unless you're not a meta player. If you just play for fun, then get him do whatever.
And you won't be missing out on the majority of Brant's buff. So going as far as saying he has the potential to break your account is a little far-fetched if you ask me. I mean, any unit has potential to break your account if you're trying.
I don't know why he's not pulling this weapon up, but I'm going to pull it up. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. I thought he was going to pull it up. So there's this free-to-play 4-star option called Overture. And what Overture does is, hopefully I can show it here. So at max level, it's going to give you 51.8% of your energy regen, right? So base 100 plus 55, or 100 plus 51.8 plus, yo guys, energy recharge 3 stars. Those are at 30% at max or 32? I believe they're 32, right? 32, great. Plus 64, you're already at 215. And then you get another 10 from the Echo set. So you're already at 225. So with a 4-star option, unlocking the Echo set at 250, which is the only thing you need, all you have to do is roll 24.2% extra ER on your substats, which means on three, let's do this real quick. So 24.2 divided by 3, that means on 3 of your Echoes, you need to have a low roll of 8, because it can be between 6.8 and 12.4, which means you need 3 suboptimal rolls on your pieces, and you're good to go. That's it. This isn't even a mid-roll. This is still a low roll, because a mid-roll between 6.8 and 12.4 is a 9.45, right? So 3 low rolls and you're still fine. And let's say you get 1 high roll, you're pretty much good to fucking go with like 1 extra roll or 2. So it's very, very, very easy. It's a joke to get the ER. So yeah.
Want to absolutely max your Echo substats and their rolls. With all that being said, I will say he is a unit.
It's also that you really don't need to use that set on him. Yeah, but that set is tailor-made for him. It's actually so good.
That will heavily depend on his signature weapon. If you want to have ease of use and a much easier time building him, you are going to have to go for his weapon. If you're thinking of skipping his weapon, keep in mind that your build will be much harder to achieve. You will still be able to achieve the 250 ER requirement for the tide breaking.
This character being Doom posted about just seems like content creators not knowing what they're talking about and they're bored. So they just decide to slop out pointless content that really just is unnecessary for the space. To be complete, Brant is fine, guys. He really is completely fine.
Echo set, but you can forget about reaching 280 ER to maximize his kit's buff. And that's pretty much it when it comes to the lame nerdy ass number crunching and kit analysis. At the end of the day, this is the fruity pirate himself, the first limited character to drop to synergize great with Saint Tontus's favorite unit, Chang-Li. His whole kit will play great with Saint Tontus's favorite unit, Chang-Li.
Oh my god.
His whole kit will play quite well with her buffing her skill damage and fusion damage alike. On top of the fact this dude heals and has a shield, I mean, he's quite the interesting unit if we're keeping it.
He's definitely Chang-Li's gay best friend.
A stack, right chat? And now to end off the video, I want to say, I don't even like Brant. First off, he's a dude. Second, he looks too fruity for my taste. But I felt like after you guys...
I love him because he looks fruity as fuck.
...were all over me talking about how the Woo-Wah Messiah himself insulted y'all baby daddy's Brant, the best course of action was to make this video. At the end of the day, we will have to wait and see how good he truly is and how well he pairs with a unit like Chang-Li when he officially drops. And just remember, pull who you want, be it because of meta or the size of their booba. But that's it for this video. I do hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're pulling for Brant, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
There was a way easier way to make that video, but hopefully I cleared that up. Brant is going to be absolutely fine, guys. It's really not that big of a deal, straight up. It's going to be one of those characters where it's going to be nice because you can build him long term. I think he's a great addition. I don't really know why people are panicking other than they must be bored and they just want slop content. That's it. Yeah, I think people got lost in the meta sauce. Not everything has to be meta viable for it to be good. As long as you clear the content, that's all that matters. And Brant will be fine in that regard. That's just my opinion. Bye-bye.